time after time, this President has pushed the limits on executive power beyond their constitutional boundaries. All of this demonstrates a pattern on the part of the Obama administration to ignore or rewrite the very legislation that places limits on executive branch authority for purely political purposes. Could the President conceivably decide that with regard to a particular law, that the discretion is to not enforce that law at all, even though the law is on the books?
Well, I mean, to not enforce at all, you know, that's a categorical statement, and in a hypothetical circumstance, it's a difficult question.
I'd like to ask you a series of questions about the perjury, which I believe that the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, gave to the Senate. Is there any circumstance that you would prosecute a member of the administration for lying under oath to Congress?
Sure.
What would that be?
The person lied.
Following the failure of many savings and loan institutions in the late 1980s, special government task forces referred 1,100 cases to prosecutors, resulting in more than 800 bank officials going to jail. By stark contrast, no senior executive at any large financial institution at the heart of the 2008 financial crisis has been charged or prosecuted. Why didn't the DOJ or the FBI devote the same kind of resources that were devoted to the savings and loan crisis in the 80s?
Is there also not a public safety issue involving the trafficking, distribution of a substance that is still illegal under federal law?
Well, the notion that somehow we have retreated from our enforcement of the Controlled Substances Act with regard to marijuana is not accurate.
Well, but you're not answering my question. My question is, are these other records in the same legal posture as the phone records?
They're governed
it's either yes or no.
I'm not sure I'm understanding the question. I mean, they're obviously governed by the same law. So, I
okay,
mean,
then you've answered my question. Thank you.
The President has the duty, obviously, to follow the law.
Wouldn't that include the dates that are contained in the law? If that isn't the way the President's going to operate, are we going to have to put in there what I stated, that the effective date cannot be waived or modified by the executive branch, meaning the President? Do we have to put that language in there from now on?
As you well know, I'm very concerned about our drug policy in our country and the way it affects minorities and the way it takes away people's liberties by incarcerating them. Why will you not act, as the President suggested, that where Congress won't, and I predict Congress will not act in this area, because Congress is generally like tortoises, and until it's really clear, they're not going to put their head out there. But the administration has acted on immigration, acted on environmental policy, acting in wages and minimum wages, et cetera. Why won't the administration act with the pen and the phone?
Well, I think that we actually have acted in a responsible way.
you know, the law of the land is the Controlled Substance Act of 1970 that says all marijuana, it's a violation of even one marijuana cigarette. That's what the law says, correct?
So you're saying that we should prosecute every one of those cases?
I'm asking you, you're the Attorney General of the United States. I'm asking, why do you fail to enforce the laws of the land, Attorney General?
And your premise is wrong. We are enforcing the laws of the land.
And I realize that contempt is not a big deal to our Attorney General, but it is important that we have proper oversight. So
you don't want to go there, okay?
I don't want to go there?
No.
About the contempt?
You should not assume that that is not a big deal to me.
So I don't need lectures from you about contempt.
And I don't need lectures from you either.
Difficult. Well, let me ask you.
The time of the gentleman has expired.
Unfortunately.
The Chair recognizes the gentleman.
Asparagus.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Attorney General, can you hear me okay?
I can always hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General.